G'day everyone, and welcome back to Apaya Puzzles. It has been a while. I apologise for my absence. I've actually been overseas. I was in Europe, the main purpose of which was to attend a conference run by the International Association for the Study of Dreams, which is a specialist interest of mine. In fact, I have another YouTube channel that I don't work on as much as I'd like, but I'm going to try to do more with now, which is dedicated to discussion of dreams, in particular very non-ordinary dreams, so lucid dreams, but more specifically than that, dreams that involve deeply non-ordinary states of consciousness, so really altered environments, concepts, sensations, external consciousnesses, all sorts of strange things which I've been blessed and cursed to have been exposed to over the last decade, mainly blessed. It was an interesting conference. I think I got out of it all of the things that I thought that I would, which were primarily, one, I met many awesome people, including two or three that were especially awesome and that I imagine I'll be lifelong friends with. Two, it rendered some interesting discussions on more kind of abstract and meta kind of issues around dreaming to do with the nature of consciousness, the kind of intersection between consciousness, AI, and dreaming, things along those lines, which were quite interesting to listen to. And thirdly, I went in with a deep skepticism of the notion of dream interpretation. I've had 10 years of extremely unusual dreams, and I've never once ventured towards interpretation in any normal sense of that word, and I've had a really strong opposition to the whole idea of that. And so my expectation was that that would only be confirmed by attending this conference, because a good part of the conference had to do with dream interpretation, but of course there was an outside chance that somehow something would change my mind on that, but it did not. So I've come away with a stronger than ever conviction that dream interpretation in almost all cases is a particularly unhelpful way to engage with one's dreams, particularly when it comes to very complex dreams. It might be a fun and creative activity for a person, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there is a certain religious fervor that comes within the dream interpretation world, which I really find, it just really kind of doesn't sit with me, and that has only been confirmed by my attendance at the conference. So it's reinvigorated me to try to articulate for myself and for my audience on my other channel why it is that I feel that way about dream interpretation, and what are the alternative ways in which I feel we can engage with complex dream content, and the mere phenomenon of complex dreams occurring. So yeah, the better ways that we can engage with that to get something out of it, to inspire creativity, and perhaps to even get some insights into the nature of consciousness, the nature of being alive, being a human, but completely outside of the realm of interpretation, in the sense of taking dream objects and making assertions about what they mean, or notions that dreams are in some sense actively delivering messages and all this kind of thing, which I find ultimately kind of superstitious and reductive, because in the end, especially with complex dreams, they are an absolute universe of complexity, and I don't think that it's doing justice to them to reduce them down to fairly mundane and literal and linear relationships with everyday waking reality. So that's another discussion, and I'll go into that more on my other channel. I'll put a link to that actually. I haven't plugged that on this channel before, but since I've just come back from the conference, why not? If that interests you, then by all means. The channel basically up until now has primarily been me reading some creative pieces that I've written on the basis of some of my more complex dreams. There's also a few kind of philosophical discussions on there, and some poetry. Meanwhile, back in the land of cruciverbalism, I'm back on board. Now, I only arrived back a few days ago, so I'm still actually surprisingly jet lagged, more than I normally would be, and more than I was when I arrived in Europe. I'm not sure if there's a directionality with jet lag, whether it's worse going one way versus the other. I dared not try the DA yesterday, at least for the camera. I did actually sit down to the DA in a cafe and was surprised to find that I solved maybe the first 8 or 9 clues straight off the bat, which is pretty unusual. And so I thought I was on one, but it turned out that after that it was a real struggle. I didn't actually get anywhere near finishing. To be fair, I didn't commit too much time to it, but anyway, that is a long introductory waffle. I'll remind you, as always, that there are chapter markers if you want to skip these waffling sessions. On the topic of waffles, actually, as I've said a million times in recent videos, I really have to do my Golden Waffle Awards. I've got a whole list of clues from, I guess, over the last kind of 5 or 6 months that I want to showcase and decide a Golden Waffle winner. So I definitely will do that soon. In the meantime, I think that Liam Runnalls is our friend when jet lagged and wanting to re-immerse ourselves in the crossword world. And this is the Saturday paper from today, the 29th of June. It's a bleak morning in Melbourne, and I'm somewhat bleak myself, having slept for about 4 hours and then whiled away many hours on YouTube. So let's see how we go. Always approachable, Liam, so I'm sure we'll have not too much trouble getting through this. And given how I went with DA to begin with yesterday, I certainly don't seem to have lost the art of it. So let's see what happens, and start with 8 across. So consequences of father's ATM malfunction. So it's going to be a word for consequences because we've got malfunction acting as an anagram indicator on the 10 letters of father's ATM. And this will be aftermaths. Aftermaths are consequences. Very nice. 1 down. Outlaw party around Northern Ireland. So the word around gives me a suggestion of the order of the clue. We're going to put something around something else, and that would mean that the likelihood is that outlaw is the definition. Saying that, outlaw can also mean ban or bar, and we've got an A here, so let's have a look. Northern Ireland, I think, is NI. We would want, therefore, a 4-letter word for a party around NI, giving a word for outlaw. Yeah, so this is banish. Just excuse me 1 second, I'm going to cough. Yep, so how does this work actually? So we've got Northern Ireland NI, bash. A bash is a party, very good. And to outlaw is to banish. So 2 down, nasty experience surrounding ophthalmologist's diagnosis. So an ophthalmologist, I think that does relate to eyes, although it's a note that it's not optometrist, but I think it also still relates to eyes. Yeah, I think this is sty. Let's see how this works. Oh yes, indeed. So nasty experience surrounding. So surrounding is a hidden word indicator, which is to say that this term here is surrounding our answer, and we can see STYE spelled out in the middle, and a sty is obviously an eye complaint. I wonder what the difference is. I think an ophthalmologist is a more kind of advanced kind of version of optometrist, someone who studies eye diseases more closely, I guess more analogous with a doctor, whereas an optometrist is maybe someone who is more concerned with eyesight and its implications. So 10 across. Feel fab in disguise. It's indescribable. So this is an anagram, ineffable. Apropos, very apropos of dreams. And feel lab in is our fodder, our anagram fodder, the letters to rearrange. Disguise is the indicator to tell us to do that, and indescribable is ineffable. 12 across. Detect, music, number, and cheer. I'm not sure what's going on here actually. I can't really get any sense of what's happening. I'd like to labour on this for a second just to try to get them as many of them cold as I can. Detect, is that our definition? A music number. Or maybe a music number is a hit. And cheer, and the whole thing means detect. Cheer. No, I'm not going to wait too much longer on that one. 3 down. Make money by beginning to export parts of sweet pastries. Quite a long clue. F in there is useful just to look for any potential anagram fodder, but there is no F in the clue. So make money is probably the definition. Profit. Oh yeah, this is profiteroles. You wouldn't think there'd be too many words that start with profit, but there's one. Profit is make money, and then beginning to export is the E. Parts are rolls, and sweet pastries are profiteroles. 4 down. Tin containing spinning ball element. So this is going to be this, I think. I'm trying to remember what the tin has a 2-letter abbreviation, which I can't remember. I think. I assume spinning ball is an anagram of ball, and the whole thing means element. What's tin? Well, that's just dropped out of my mind, so we'll come back. Tweeting to Guevara with example about grenade part. Tweeting to, so that's Guevara is Che, so this is cheaping, I think. With example, e.g. about grenade part pin, so e.g. going around the pin. Okay, so we might have to cold solve 9 across here. Make sure that's still all lined up. Argument after finally flying balloon. This is grow. The final letter of flying is G, and the argument is a row, which comes afterwards, and that gives us to balloon, which is to grow. Nice misdirection of part of speech. Balloon in the clue is a noun, but balloon in the answer is the verb. 7 down. Student's first little exam was most pleasing. So when you see a most pleasing or most anything, it's likely to be an EST word, which would be the definition therefore. And we've got the word exam, so that would be a test. I think this is going to be sweetest. And so students first is the S, little is we, W-E-E, and then exam is test. Oh, I should have turned that scrolling off. My apologies. Magic Mouse is being a bit too magical. 6 down. Source of information in cat brain, perhaps. So this looks like an anagram of in cat brain, with perhaps being the indicator for that. Source of information And so what is that? I'm certain that's an anagram. I can't. Source of information. I can't see it. 11 across. Attractive person in metal neckwear. It looks like a hidden, but I don't think it is. Metal neckwear would have TALNE, but I don't think that's a word. Attractive person. I wonder if an attractive person is a 3-letter word inside a 2-letter abbreviation for a metal. It could be quite a few things, I think. Or maybe, not sure. Neckwear. What's our neckwear? Well, tie. Oh, okay, so cutie. So attractive person is a cutie. CU is our metal, copper, and tie is neckwear. 11 down. Pledging to go after company man. Potentially embarrassing. So company is usually CO, which suggests to me we want a word for pledging after that and after man, so maybe just co-man or co-something, and then a word for pledging, and then potentially embarrassing. I can't think of it. 14. Enormous single headmistress gets blokes to empty schoolhouse. It looks like immense just from the letters. Let's just have a look. Single is I, headmistress is M, the head letter of mistress. Blokes is men, and then empty schoolhouse is the word schoolhouse without its central letters to give immense. To give the SE to get immense. Yeah, so this does have an M there. Company man. Well, a man could be literal, but it's normally, maybe it's just M for man. Embarrassing. Embarrassing can also mean, I'm not sure if it has a different meaning apart from, being embarrassed in the normal sense of the word. Let's come back around. 15 across, got a long one here. Experimental string trio cared for fellow musician. So probably an anagram. String trio cared is 15 letters. Experimental would be the anagram indicator, and then fellow musician would be the definition. We've got the potential for an ing word there. That's quite likely. It's hard to do anagrams without a piece of paper. Fellow musician. Let's try to get the first letter here. This will help, I think. 15 down. Agent warmed to Cockney. Agent warmed to Cockney. Is that a mistake? Very nice. That's not a mistake. That's an excellent clue. So agent is rep, as in a representative. Warmed to Cockney is the word heated, meaning warmed, but in a Cockney accent, you drop the H to give eated. And then he's repeated that line twice, which is in effect the definition element, the fact that it's repeated. So that's very nice. We've got 2 R's there. That lines up with our anagram. In fact, there's 3 R's in the anagram. So might not be ing, but I'm pretty sure it will be. Fellow musician. A recording artist, I think, will be it. I'll just do a rough check of the letters. Yeah, that looks right. 17 across. Distant noise beside race circuit is champion horse. Race circuit. So this is Phar Lap. One for, well, I guess it's most commonly known probably in Australia, but Phar Lap is certainly, I would say, one of the best known horses in the world. Distant is far, F-A-R, but we're saying it, the word noise is indicating that we're going to write something that sounds like far but is spelt differently. That's next to a race circuit, which is a lap, and that's our champion horse. 20 across. Cattle butcher sang about you. This is Angus, I think. Yeah, so sang about is an anagram of sang, so the letters are moving about. Oh no, sorry, butcher is the anagram indicator, to rearrange sang, and that is going about or around the letter U for the word you, and Angus is a type of cattle. 23, greedy guts, that's probably E, with large pole for fish. Oh, I see. I was thrown by the fact that I thought fish was singular. So greedy guts is the gut letters of greedy, the two central letters EE. Large is L, and a pole is S for South Pole. And fish in the plural is eels. So let's see, do we look at this? No, leaders in heaven with a Republican to convert liberals. This looks like angels. So leaders in heaven, archangels, with a Republican. So A for A, Republican for R, and to convert liberals. To convert is change, and liberals, L stands for liberal, and we've got two of them, so LS. This is looking like Harton or something. Come back to that. 16. Fraud information on politician. Ring with short story. So information is often I. Politician is often MP. Ring is often O. And a short story. And we need a word meaning fraud. So impostor. So that's literally the word story just made shortened. And that gives us impostor, which is a fraud. 24. Toboggan to deteriorate. So go downhill. That's nice actually, because toboggan you normally would think of as a noun, but you can of course toboggan as a verb. And that means to go downhill, which is also to deteriorate. Friends review with criticism of kind of comedy. It's like slapstick, I think, just from the S. So friends review, friends are pals, and that's going backwards to give slap. Criticism is stick, if you give someone stick, and kind of comedy is slapstick. 18, 3 months of flavour. So this is going to be I was going to say it's going to be 3 two-letter abbreviations for months, but I'm not sure because that O would have to be October, and I don't see that being right. APOC. 3 months of flavour. Ah, season, right. So 3 months is a season and a flavour is a season. Run down slum evicted large wife of Joseph. So I think we're going to have, yeah, this is summary. So rundown is a summary. Slum evicting the letter L for large, which is the abbreviation, gives us some, and then the wife of Joseph was Mary. This looks like yokels. 19. Unsophisticated types are yokels. Really go berserk before professional tennis finals. So that's the final letters of these words: Y, O, K, E, L, and S. So we're nearing the end. 22. Regularly in RMIT's pupil site. Feels like iris. Another I reference, but why? So just the regular letters of in and RMIT. So I-R-I-S. I think the in being used there threw me, because often that's just a filler word. Now, let's see what we have to come back to. Source of information in cat brain, perhaps. This is Britannica, the encyclopedia. I think that's how you spell it. Now, pledging to go after. So this will be an ing word. Compromising. Yeah, promising is pledging to go after company man, CO for company and an M for man, and compromising is embarrassing, potentially. Now, we have to hope we can solve this one, so I don't think I knew much about this. So, 12, detect, music number, and cheer. Oh, well, it is Hearten, I think. Now, detect is here, or to detect music is here, number is 10, and to hearten is to cheer. So, we're left with this, and tin containing spinning ball element. Well, it's not what I thought with the two L's. So maybe it's just literally... I'm not seeing that though. Oh, hang on, a can. Carbon, which is superlative cruciverbalism. You can't quite see that there, but there it is. So the idea with that one is that we have tin being can, and that is that's interesting, because the ball in question here is an orb, as far as I can tell, and that orb is being spun around, rearranged. However, that is what's called an indirect anagram, where rather than anagramming the word ball, we first need to find a synonym for ball and then anagram. And that's normally considered to be not kosher. It's not fair for the solver. Not too difficult in this particular case, but definitely as a cold solve. I suppose, yeah, tin and element were fairly straightforward components to the clue. But yeah, that's a slightly curious one. Yeah, interesting. But there we go. Superlative cruciverbalism from Liam, as always. I hope you had a go yourself and were successful. I'll be back again soon with more of this, and hopefully reinvigorated to get my content going again. I apologize for my long absence. It was an amazing journey overseas, and I'll see you all again next time.